Welcome to the show, Matt Miller with you, and today is a pretty special day for Trekkies because Star Trek Discovery is back. We are releasing this in the future, and today's guest is with me once more for a new season, Larry Nemecek. Thank you for coming back.
Hey, Matt, thank you for having me on, of course.
As I said, today is a pretty special day. Season 2 of Discovery is back. Before we even watch the first frames of that, we've had trailers released. There have been 3 trailers. What's been your most exciting, or the most exciting thing that you're looking forward to this season?
Well, they've certainly thrown a lot of crumbs out there for us with Spock and Pike and Number One even. Overall, the biggest thing is what I've been looking forward to ever since I kind of got it about halfway through season 1, which is season 1 was birthed in a trauma ward, basically. And that's what I hear people, all the people who passionately argue and debate and criticize, and hopefully they're human beings, which I will always respect and take on in a critique. I have my critiques of season 1 of Discovery. But the bottom line is, it's like I just keep going back to thinking about if we'd had this discussion at the end of Next Generation's first season, much less DS9 or Voyagers. I mean, yes, they're out there. They're obviously meant for consumption and for reaction, but they're not a finished thing yet. They're not a mature species yet. We're yelling about the teenager who may be brilliant but also be troubled, right? I have been the most curious to see whatever the plot points were, what the tone, the style, and the continuity, and yes, the C word there, canon, but I mean within itself, the tonal and all that, because it's obviously like I say that they've changed. We were on a taxi ride with season 1, and they changed drivers 3 times and never stopped driving. So yes. I'm and these trailers have looked like a more straight ahead. That's a word I can say. Just like a straight ahead adventure, not trying to look like they're trying to out Game of Thrones in their cinematography anyway. I'm just curious to see what the tone overall is and what the new crop of people is going to bring to the show. I'm
very excited to see what Ethan Peck brings as Spock. There has been those comments online that it's not the Spock that we know, but then it's only a few months, maybe a couple of years before the cage, and he was smiling and laughing in the cage. Everybody.
Oh yeah, the women. And the beard debacle was hysterical to me because he's obviously we've seen, even without the mirror universe, we've seen Vulcans with beards. Tuvok grew a beard. I mean, the first sign of that, people lost their shit. And it was like, well, he's obviously been in a place where he couldn't shave every day, or he didn't care about shaving every day. And lo and behold, oh, look, he's in a psych ward. Or something. I mean, it's like, well, come on, people.
And it is in canon that Vulcans grow facial hair because Tuvok in the Year of Hell was shaving. And I put a tweet out late last year that basically said, we will only ever know how this all fits together, and if indeed it all fits together, when the series stops production. But you know what? I hope that never happens.
Well, it will, and then it'll go into the realm of reruns and spinoffs. But it's great to see the excitement, and I love all the online debate as long as it's not, being paid to be there and paid to disrupt Trek fandom as it might be Star Wars fandom or gaming fandom or whatever is going on out there. That's a weird, sad sidebar to everybody's just, hey, can I just enjoy the show? Where we talk about it in a nerd way, and this weird fandom thing of well, not only are you like automatedly critiquing the show, not critiquing, are you bashing a show and showrunners, but then this the gatekeeping and the fandom gatekeeping and all that, which hopefully the second season will put some of that to rest. There'll be more hours on screen and more straight ahead, plot delivery, and we can get excited about Pike and Number One and Spock and the Red Angels, which I hope are not composed of red matter. I really, really do. Not to open a can of worms, but
that was one of my first thoughts. Was, are they tying that in? And is there something we could read into Pike's comment about fighting? Or sorry, Tyler's comment to Pike about fighting for the future. Is there better not be a Deus Ex Machina in this?
No, I thought that was without hopefully there being some kind of weird tag to it. Fighting for the future is a great Star Trek. line.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
well, this is true.
Yeah. It's right
Now,
up there with get that cheese to sick bay. No, I'm kidding.
Now, Section 31 is back. Of course, they've been in DS9 and Enterprise. What are you thinking here? They're a lot less secret and a lot more part of the covert operations.
It's funny, we had that ever since we had that one black badge in the pilot, in the Discovery pilot, not the Philippa Georgiou pilot two-parter, but the third episode. We had this whole debate about that's got to be Section 31. Oh, like Section 31 has badges to tell the world they're Section 31. You know, that whole thing. Well, she's handing over. It's almost like they caved in, they gave in. I always chalk that up to one of those early mix of, 47,000 ideas that were in the mix that got left behind when all the labor pains kept happening with Discovery until it finally settled into what they really wanted and what they were going to act with. They're selling them as merchandise. So it's like they had to embrace the black badge somehow. So on one end, it's odd for her. But then again, she's not standing in front of 5,000 people handing it over. It's just 2 or 3 people talking. So, but again, we have these like instant little knee-jerk reactions to things. And then we had to settle down and go, okay, maybe that. But I don't know. You've got Georgiou. You've got her cohort there. She shows up from the trailers in a ship. They make a little bit of light of fun of 31. Maybe something happens with 31 that makes them go, since we didn't hear about them through Kirk's era and the movies, and not through Next Generation, and not until DS9. Maybe there's something that drives 31 more underground after being a little more public. Dum dum dum. Just like the Spore Drive, And
I think Tyler's in 31 as well. So that's interesting. And to have him back as well, although he does appear to be back at his old post of security and shacking up with his girlfriend again.
Yeah.
So nothing happened. Nothing happened there.
Well, it's on the real side, it's one of those things of one of those cases of, we had all these plans, but you know what? After we did it, damn, we hate to kill off that character, or damn, let's figure out a way to bring Tasha Yar back. It's kind of like, it's like, or times 10 on that. So we'll see what but again, as long as he's trustably human facing forward, what better person to have Section 31 your way into the Klingon Empire than, I mean, think about it,
Maybe that's why he's back, Larry.
Oh, do you think? Maybe he can double agent, and then maybe he gets started. He's a double agent again, but I don't know. That's getting awful twisty. But no, I mean it's so wide open based on what they've set up. So it's all in the handling. It's all going to be in the handling, and clips can show you 5 different angles and tones. So we'll just have to see.
Exactly.
We'll just
right.
have to see.
And as a promo editor myself, I know that you can construe things based on how you put together a promo.
Oh, yes.
So, now Tilly and Stamets have a rock thing. What do you make of this?
That's, in the hierarchy of things, we'll see. I'm still wondering if they're going to get back to the green spore that landed on her shoulder somehow. Supposedly Dr. Culbert's is back in physical form or close to. I don't. He keeps Wilson Cruz keeps promising folks that this was not a lost character, and it's not going to wind up being a kill your gaze conclusion with this, which might, in the end, also be another factor of we got to get Tasha Yar back somehow. It's almost like it's obvious they've set up several levels of plotting here going on, and how much everything feeds into the big arcing plot, and how much is just character mini arcs. But I just hope they let Stamets and Tilly out of engineering. It's like did they get to have scenes outside of the chamber and what's going to happen to the Spore Drive? I'm curious to see if it's just an ancient relic, or if it comes into play in some way. We've seen some surreal kind of visual effects shots that look sporish. I hope everyone in the cast gets something. I hope some of the fun bits on the side, like Tig Notaro's character and the number one, and we haven't, Captain Pike himself.
Yes, of course, we can't forget him.
Ensign Mount, and what that's going to do for the Pike and the Spock. This is a perfect time to talk about Spock, because people go back to the cage, but obviously you got from the cage to Where No Man. Somehow, something happened. It's a big long chunk of 12, 14 years, whatever it was there, and something happened along the way. Was it just boring, drip by drip evolution as you grew older, or can you do something with that as a story? And looks like they're going to do something with it as a story.
Klingon hair Did they go to a stylist?
Well, now
they've grown it all. They've grown it all back.
they have grown it all back. At least the 4 houses, the 10 houses we saw bits and pieces of. Again, in the long run, we may laugh and chalk this up to fan pushback, or by the time maybe people had second thoughts about choices, there'd been a lot of money and time spent. So if they come up and retcon the idea, as Mary Chifo has been floating online, that in a time of war, Klingons cut their hair, and then we had people pushing back and saying, well, what about the Klingon War, the Dominion War on DS9? Well, it's 100 years later. They're different houses. They're softening the look. Yeah, I think it's just the maturation of the show, and things will get smoothed out, and people we've got a population that lives 24/7 in the moment, and no one ever takes the long view of anything.
We could talk about the scant too. Things that seem like a good idea in season 1.
Yeah. But now it's become beloved. So, it's funny how things get embraced like that. But if it'd been used all the time, it wouldn't be nearly as beloved. So, no, I'm really to think that L'Rell is the Chancellor of the Empire and all that we know later on, and what comes up very quickly for Kirk's time. I really hope everybody who's gotten control of the show now, who's in the driver's seat, is conscious of those things. And even though we're still having to deal with the audience in 2018, overlap as far as design looks go, they've been pretty attenuated to concept canon. So I'm curious to see on both fronts, to see what they bring us.
And the last bit that I wanted to touch on was Saru returning home. And we saw that in the latest trailer, and he rescues his sister. What are you thinking there?
That was, the whole Short Treks thing. I got the idea that was going to be a time to try out, to spend money to amortize, kind of the reverse of spending a lot of money on a movie. And look, we've got spacesuits now. We can use them on Voyager and DS9. We've got new uniforms. We've got new props. Bottom with the movie budget. Now we can benefit. And this is the inverse. We've got the tiny little Short Treks budget, but it's extra money, and hopefully they were going to use the non-bottle show Short Treks to do that. And I was curious if they spent so much money on the huts and the filming, if they were going to come back to do that. So good on that. Now, there was that debate when that Saru story debuted about Georgiou taking away a pre-warp civilization native and blah, blah, blah. But I just remember Gillian Taylor jumping aboard the Bird of Prey, and my God, that was time travel, much less, and it was Kirk, but still. She ticked off all the boxes there on her little checklist internally when she agreed to take him away. So that didn't bother me near as much. I think there's random cases all through, for one-off cases.
There was a theory that I read online that perhaps the Harvest was taking them to the mirror universe, and that's why they were such a delicacy. So I wonder whether the Baul are something along those lines. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
We will see. We'll see how much of this is as easy to predict as it was first season.
It's always fun to chat Trek with you, Larry. I am looking forward to doing it again sometime soon, if you will permit me.
I will, Matt. I will. I just invite everybody over to LarryNemecek.com and Portal 47 and my Trekland on Facebook. And Trekland Tuesdays live every Tuesday at 1 Pacific. And, of course, the Trek Files, my podcast for Roddenberry. Every week, too.
Beautiful, Larry. Thank you so much, man. And let's go enjoy Discovery Season 2, hey?
Let's add it. It's a wonderful birthday present for me, so I'm going to be enjoying.
Well, happy birthday, Larry, and thanks for being here.
Thanks, Matt. Trek well.